You're being recorded. It's so creepy. All right, I think we just. Hello, my name is Isaac, and welcome to the Three Schooners.
Hello, my name is David, and what Isaac said, welcome to the Three Schooners.
Hello, my name is JJ, and after many weeks, we are back again.
Yeah.
We're going to do some talks about things. I'm not really sure what the things are this week. Dave and Isaac seemed more across it than I am. So
No, absolutely.
Well, basically what happened was I suggested a topic. You guys weren't really keen on it. And then, so Isaac was like, well, let's just put it to the fans. So we put it to the fans and everyone voted for my topic. So here we are.
When I said put it to the fans, I meant an open-ended question, and then they tell us what to talk about.
It was an open-ended
you gave them.
You gave them choices.
Yes,
let's ask the fans. Anyways,
and the people voted yes.
All three people voted yes.
Me, my other account, and my mum.
David Moore, Mavid Durr, and
David Trady Moore, David.
Before we get ahead, there's one thing we've got to do first, boys.
Yes.
No, not that yet. Not yet. That yet.
I had the lube ready.
Gotta get on the beers. Thank you, time.
Rapidly get on the beers. That's your civic duty. That's what's most important, and that's what must be done. Beers. Get on the beers, and that's what must be done.
I don't know why we do this.
The thing is, now we're on gallery view and everyone can see us. Everyone can see us doing the dance. Do we cut that out now still?
Yeah, we cut that out because there's a video I made and stuff for the thing. Watch it or anything, Dave. It's fine. It doesn't take me a long time to do it or nothing.
Do you mean I review the episodes?
Sometimes. Anyway.
You stopped, and then that's why I stopped doing the highlights.
Yeah. I still kept editing. I'm the only consistent man here. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I kept sending messages and you two wouldn't reply. Too busy having fun.
Listen.
Lockdown.
We were. Before we get started on what beers we've got, I want to give Yasmin a shout out for getting me the best present ever the other day. She got me a little tiny Tesla Cybertruck.
I saw that the other day. I was like, that was superb.
Is that in exchange for your deposit? Because you withdrew your deposit, didn't you?
Did you actually?
Oh, no. I've still got my deposit.
Still got it.
For those listening, JJ put a deposit down on a Cybertruck. The Tesla Cyber.
Yeah, Tesla.
Which is it looks like this, but bigger.
But that's one for ants. This one's for real people.
Yeah.
When you told me that,
2 times that size.
When you told me that for a solid up till yesterday, I still think it was bullshit.
I can show you the email.
And you told me like a year ago.
It's only $150 the deposit. That's all it was.
That's crazy.
But it means that you're in line for when they arrive, if they ever arrive. But I was these were really hard to get, and they only appeared in Woolworths for some reason, these ones. And I couldn't get one. I was looking for one for ages. I was meant to go meet a man to buy 2 of them for $40.
Why?
It cost $3.50 or something.
What do you mean you meant to meet him? Was this like some dodgy Facebook Marketplace business?
Yeah. And then lockdown happened. I couldn't get them. And then this arrived yesterday in the mail. And
Imagine that on the news. Community outbreak of COVID because man goes to buy Cybertruck Hot Wheels toy.
We are now cyber fucked. Okay, right. What have you got, Isaac, for me this week?
This week, I have not got dodgy beers because I didn't have time to get Aldi. So I've got a good old Mountain Goat Summer Ale.
Superb.
That does look quite summery.
That does look lovely.
Yeah.
Perfect for your lockdown.
Nice to see you've stepped up in the world.
It's not just a South by Summer breeze or before.
Just before this, you were drinking beers that had just fallen off the fucking ship container or something.
Dave, what are you drinking then? What are you drinking?
I am drinking also not a poor man's beer. I am drinking the lovely Bolter X beer. I've fallen in love with this beer recently. It's a little smiley face there. Hi.
I was very close to
Lovely
going that
beer.
as well.
Lovely
That would have been awkward.
Yeah, but I don't have one. I have 2 beers. So I went to buy more Bolter.
You're hard.
But then I know. Don't expect me to see the end of this episode sober. And I got your favorite, Pirate Life. But that is the South Coast.
I don't like that at all.
Well,
I've had that beer. It's horrendous.
brilliant.
JJ, over to you.
Well, boys, I wasn't able to get Desperados this week.
Bullshit.
And every week he does this.
I actually
No
wasn't able to
way.
get Desperados this week. They're genuinely sold out. But to make up for it,
Desperados.
No, I've not got any. I swear I've not got any Desperados. There are actually none right now. I did go through what is, without doubt, the best invention that's ever been invented ever. A drive-through bottle, ladies and gentlemen. Unfucking believable. You call it, it's as if you're going to McDonald's to get a fucking Big Mac. Instead, you go, I want 6 Budweisers. The guy goes, no worries, mate. Throws them in your car. Fucking smashing. How great an invention is that? I love it. I love it so much. I'm very proud of the fact that Australia.
I thought I was still waiting for Desperados.
I swear I don't have it.
I feel like we're tormented children. Like you're like, gotta give you one, and we're like, don't.
He's just
okay.
like, he's dragging it out.
Fine.
That
Here we go. No, it's still Budweiser. It's still Budweiser. I swear I've not got any this week.
All right, let's cheers. I'm thirsty.
There we go.
Okay. Cheers, boys. Love you.
Cheers, boys. Yeah. Cheers.
Woo. Okay. Now they've got the formalities out of the way, and I can show you my Desperado that I don't have.
That's not bad beer.
It's lovely.
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Speak to me, Dave. What is it that we're actually fucking talking about this week?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Of course. Excellent. Thanks. We've been the Three Schooners. We'll catch you next time.
So we are talking about, so we mentioned this in one of our previous episodes. When we say we, I meant me. And we had a few topics tonight, and the other topics that didn't quite make the vote we'll pick up in the next episodes. But one of the topics was basically, have we lost the art of being a gentleman? So what do I mean by that? Yeah, well, yes. 100%. But where did we go wrong? That is the thing. And what does it mean to be a man, really? Like, where do we fit in with all of this? So all of our 2 listeners, basically...
Maybe do.
Yeah, basically we pose this question to you. Obviously, hopefully we have a very wide spectrum of listeners, and those would have came, if you're ladies or whatever, you may have been chatted up by a guy in the bar. If you're the gentleman or the lad, you may have attempted to chat up the girl in the bar or whatever, or chatting up guys or chatting up girls, whatever you float your boat. However, we've all seen it, boys. We've seen guys try to chat up girls because we work largely in hospitality, and I've seen it not go very well a lot of times. So where has it all gone wrong? Has it gone wrong? Are we in a different age now? Where did it all start?
I can put it down in one word and one word only.
I hope it's the same word I'm thinking of, please.
No, it's a different word. It's tights. Back in the day, gentlemen used to wear tights. Now I'm the only one that wears tights because I'm the only real gentleman.
I was going to say Pornhub.
Yeah,
That's going
to be.
I mean, if you want to get down to it, like a real weird fucking psychological thing, men now have weird expectations and shit because of Pornhub. Like it's fucked people's.
I mean, I won't lie. I mean, that's a thing that comes up in like kind of sexual therapy and shit like that. Like
Absolutely.
Some guys who have never really been in a relationship or shit like that, and tossing off at home and stuff like that, and watching Pornhub, their expectations.
Tossing off at home. Sorry, that just sounded superb. Sorry, Dave. Continue.
Well, you can't get. We're in lockdown. You can't go out, toss off at home, stay at home.
Fight the virus. Have a wank at home.
No joke. I'm pretty sure Pornhub did that as a campaign. And it was like free porn, just stay at home. They did, didn't they?
They did. They gave premium out for like 3 months or something like that for free. Not like I know that.
Whatever. Yeah, neither do I. Just a friend told me. But yeah, basically, it's lads had this idea of it's a common thing. I'm no sex therapist or whatever, but it's a common thing that some lads' expectations of sexual intercourse comes from watching too much porn.
I think we've skipped over a lot here. Okay, I think we should go back and first of all question.
What makes a gentleman?
Yeah, what is a gentleman? What makes a gentleman a gentleman? What is your idea of it? What do you think a woman in this day and age's idea of it compared to what it was maybe 50, 60 years ago?
What, are you asking me that? Should I go first?
It's an open floor.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So my idea of a gentleman, personally, would be someone who represents themselves in a certain manner, which is favorable. So basically, if I had to try and sum up a gentleman, like the type of James Bond-esque, holds the door open for ladies, is polite, courteous. There's a bit of that tongue in cheek though, but it's always done with a state of elegance. It's never crosses the border of being too forward, too rude. There's always an element of respect to when just going about your daily business. It doesn't even have to be with women or whatever, or the opposite sex. It just has to be, you conduct yourself in a certain manner, and it is respectable and favorable, and it is a pleasant experience to those who come across you. I think
what's your thoughts on that, Isaac?
I mean, I agree. I was going to do a whole Oxford Dictionary defines thing, but I think that's dumb. But what you touched on there was like, you were saying that
let's do it.
All right. So Oxford Dictionary defines gentleman as a man who is polite and well educated, who has excellent manners and always behaves well, which is essentially what you've said. And I think the key there is that it doesn't say anything about the opposite sex or sexual partners or anything like that. It just talks about treating people with respect, all people with respect, right? Yeah. I think that's the key is I mean, in a modern world, we're diverting here, projecting a positivity and respectfulness to everyone around you at all times. I think that is what a gentleman should be in an evolved way, rather than this old definition of holding doors for women and being chivalrous, or whatever the word is. I think it's more about just being positive, kind, respectful, and just a good human to everyone around you. Yeah.
And do you think that you know people like that? Do you think you know real gentlemen that is always courteous?
I think Dave is peak gentleman, and my mum agrees with this based off the podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
So, so could I hold the door open for your mother, please, if possible?
I don't know what that means, Dave, but I think you've just lowered yourself in the gentleman's state. I think we all know someone that is. I think our good friend Dwayne would be a perfect example of that.
Dwayne does ooze gentleman-esque.
Yeah, he's just got a little bit of class about him. He's very lovely. If any single ladies are out there, his name is Dwayne Frazer. He's a very handsome young man, and will certainly pull your seat out before you sit down for a lovely meal.
Feel free to follow him on
need to get him on.
Yeah. What's his Instagram handle?
It is Frazer _Dwayne.
Dwayne is Frazer is FRASER _ TUANE.
Yep.
There we go. He's on the board of many environmental causes, for the Great Barrier Reef, for example. He's a very educated, well-educated young man, and you would be happy to spend.
Very community driven. So, he'd be great with children.
Lovely,
And
man.
he will
Lovely,
also
man.
be on the next season of The Bachelor. So applications with it. But yeah, like Dwayne, I mean, a lot of people are listening. Some of our friends listen, but a lot of people don't know who Dwayne is. But if we have to summarize Dwayne, yeah, he is that type of guy who is very polite in front of women, will not swear in front of women. He conducts himself in a certain manner. And yeah, going back to what you're saying, Isaac, is like, our world has changed. So, in the 1800s or whatever, your typical gentleman would have been these coming from sophisticated backgrounds, had a lot of wealth, been well educated and stuff like that. But the world has changed now. I'm not saying everyone's poor and stupid, but it's
This guy is.
no, you're not. But yeah, the world has definitely changed. But seeing, I think also where we've kind of gone wrong is like, I think where else it has played a part is like this, how if I talk from a male point of view of like trying to court women. I mean, even that word court has gone, courting has gone. Like, just trying to date girls.
What's changed as times change, We don't.
But it's don't treat them mean, keep them keen. I think that's played a factor as well.
I think a massive factor is pop culture and things that people see on TV and movies and things like that. Like, remember things that people were watching in the cinema back in the day, where like when we were thinking of like the early 1900s, it would have been silent movies with people like going to balls and stuff like that. And then things like cinema and TV became more and more available to people, and things got a little bit more loose than what they were. And, you instead of people going to balls and things like that, you've got, a prime example would be the movie Grease. Okay. A story of a man and a woman trying to get with each other, that suddenly she changes who she is at the end of the movie because she feels like she no longer wants to be a lady. She wants to be a bad girl kind of thing. Yeah. And that's a prime example of that would have influenced a lot of people. Absolutely. It's what you're surrounded with. I reckon if you've got a nice environment that you've witnessed people, both men and women, being lovely to each other, then that's what you put off. That's what exudes from you when you are an adult. But if you're brought up in an environment where maybe there was an abusive environment, maybe in your past for a man and a woman, that might affect you as well, and that might be how you treat women. And I think unfortunately, a lot of guys as well don't grow up with a dad that would treat them, show them how to treat a woman in the right way, things like that.
I also think when you're talking about history and stuff, where we're coming from a history where people's lives were defined by they need to find the person of the opposite sex, and then they get married, and then they have kids, and that's their life. Yeah. And we now live in a world where the opposite sex thing is no longer a thing. The sex in itself is no longer a thing, but you'd be also like, you're not defined by finding your significant other. Yeah. So I think that all, like this whole idea of courting the other sex or like trying to impress people and that we live in a society where you can be an individual for your lifetime. Like it's totally fine to remain completely single and do your own thing for the rest of time. So this idea that as you're a woman that's getting older, you need to settle for a man that's got to take you in. And this whole historic old way of thinking is no longer the case in many parts of the world, not everywhere. But I think that plays into the whole gentleman thing, if we want to, whatever the core topic is, but it's an evolving topic there.
Things have definitely changed. Things are different. As you said, you don't need to go out and find that person. And and back in the day, people were expected to be with each other for once they get married, that was it. And that's no longer really the case anymore. I'm not saying that people get married just to break up, but it's a lot more common now.
It's interesting how it's changed, though. It's like, I don't know the actual stats, but what you're saying is it's common known fact that most marriages will end in divorce.
It's like half, isn't it? It's quite high.
Yeah, it's quite high.
It's quite an alarming amount, yeah. And it's just like, so, it's not even like the art of the gentleman that's been lost. We're losing other aspects of what we consider was, in the age we've grown up in. We're all similar ages. You're
like 760. Come on. Talk nonsense.
I mean, my hair has gone.
Yeah, but he's lived through all of our ages, is what he means. He's lived through all of them.
Yeah. No, he's just lived through ages.
I like
the dark age.
I mean, a specific group of people like Pharrell Williams. I just don't age really, and what's
Paul
his
Rudd?
name? Paul Rudd. Don't age.
It's because he was in the quantum realm for so long.
That's it. I'm so excited for What If.
Yep. We need to. We'll get on to Marvel later. We should just do an episode. Do you know what we should do? We should get our good friend Glenn on and talk about Marvel. And
he's not allowed.
Technically, I don't think he'd be allowed to. Yeah,
he's gonna be real careful. But he does tell me a bunch of secrets. But don't tell Disney that.
No, he doesn't actually.
No, he doesn't.
Throw him under the bus. He doesn't actually. There's no secret.
Tomorrow. The messages in the group, boys, I've just been fired. I don't know why.
Somehow Walt Disney listens to the podcast.
They are taking over the world.
You're going to take down those three schooners. Get them, Pluto.
But yeah, where I was going with that is like, it's not even the art of the gentleman we've lost. So we've lost kind of, it's mad. Like growing up, I was born in 88. Growing up in the 90s, you had all these ways things were done. And I'm not saying like cheating and stuff like that never happened, but you're kind of oblivious to it as a child, and you're looking back, and like you're saying, there was this traditional method of you go to school, you get the degree, you leave school, you meet the partner, you get the house, you settle down, you have kids, then you die. It's just the world doesn't really work like that. More people are opting to stay single and for most of their lives, or people are opting not to have kids, and then we've got different, we've got equality now as well in so many different aspects, LGBTQ and stuff like that. The world is changing massively, but I still think you can be a gentleman in a modern age, which kind of brings us back to our earlier point, which you kind of touched on, and you were like, oh, we've skipped ahead there. But, being a gentleman in a modern age, what does that look like to you guys?
I think for me, it's definitely, back in the day, barriers were definitely up around how men could behave around women, but I think everything's a lot more open now, and I think a lot of women would actually be annoyed, saying, why are you different around your friends than you are with me? I know that I've been with Jasmine for 6 years, coming up for, and I'm not different around her compared to when I'm around guys. I'm just the same as always, and I think she'd be annoyed if I was, not who I was.
Yeah.
If you get me. It certainly doesn't make me a gentleman in any way, shape or form. But I think she would definitely find it annoying if I just changed who I was just because I was around her. That's technically you being two different people, isn't it?
Essentially, yes. I think for me, when I was growing up, like, I didn't do well with the ladies growing up or anything like that. And I think personally, I am just a good-natured person, and I like to do right, and I don't like to hurt anyone. And I am very I'm not big on confrontation. I don't like being rude to people or that. I don't like seeing people upset or anything like that. So I think that played a massive factor in me growing up. But then when I was like trying to get somewhere with girls and all that. There was, and this is why I kind of brought it up earlier, there was that thing where it was kind of like, oh, the nice guy finishes last. You kind of, you know, I was with some friends who were like, oh, I was like, why is it not working with this girl? And they were like, oh, because you're too readily available for them and all that. And as a young lad growing up, you can take that in a number of ways. You know, there was me thinking, oh, well, I need to be a bit mean to them to kind of get where I want. And I kind of probably maybe took that message the wrong way when someone was like, oh, you're too there, readily available for them. They probably meant like, just kind of hold back a bit. Or I'd see it in like, as I was growing up and I was starting going out and clubbing and stuff like that. And I see like some of my mates being like a bit dismissive to girls, a bit rude to them, but it somehow seemed to work for them. And like the girls would still want to like,
yeah, I mean,
I'm like, oh, wait. And then there's me being nice to them. And I was like, where's it going wrong, you know? And I feel like as a lad growing up, that is, especially if you're in that age of like 16, 15, 17, 18, whatever, it can, it's a really difficult time because you're trying to figure out what's going on and what works and how to be kind of successful.
But I also think with those kind of people, their end goal in that situation is to get their fingers sticky. Their end goal is not to meet someone and then befriend them.
And what do you mean by that, Isaac? for your mum and your sister listening, can you please just explain what you mean by that?
Get to the bottom of that warm apple pie.
It's so much worse. It's so much worse.
But what I mean, before I lose my track of thought, is that like by being just a nice, courteous person, like you were saying, Dave, yes, you didn't maybe end up with girls as frequently or whatever, but if the aim isn't to end up with them, the aim is to befriend someone, meet them, get to know them, and then if you get to know them and you enjoy their company, and then if that leads to something physical or just friendship or whatever, whether you want to use the term gentleman or anything, that's a more genuine relationship, right? Whether it's friendship, just an acquaintanceship, whatever, that's just more genuine. If you are saying what they want to hear to then get laid, essentially, is what you're describing. Yes, you're going to get laid more frequently, but that's not genuinely having genuine, I don't want to use that term again.
There's no connection. There's
Connections,
no real,
right?
Yeah.
And that comes back to what we were saying before about being positive, honest, genuine with everyone, whether it's someone you are trying to fornicate with or someone that you're just befriending with the bros, like whatever it is, if you're just honest and genuine, then yeah, you may not get that quick reward, but I don't know, that's real friendship or real connection.
I think that's amazing what you say there. I think that's really what I've seen, especially working in hospitality. Like we work in the hostel game as well. So we get a lot of people.
A thriving hostel game. Woo!
Yeah, not at the minute.
We're all billionaires.
It is very funny working in the hostel game because you get people who start living and working and they live in the hostel and then they, there's other people doing the same thing, living in the hostel long term and working in the local area. And then they all start like catching feelings for each other and they all start hooking up and it all gets complicated.
Oh, we've all heard a few of those stories, man.
Yeah. I love travel romances. They're the best.
Do you know what is the common flaw that I see? And I still see it happening. It's happening bloody in the hostel I work in now. But honesty, it's just the whole honesty thing I think that is the main key attribute. If you want to do better, with just relationships or whatever, it's just being honest and being very clear about what you're here for, your intentions. Not blaring the message. Because when you start blaring the message and when you start saying things that you think the person wants to hear, then that's the minute you've failed in my book.
Nothing's worse. I've been in the bar so many times, and everyone knows I am the most open.
Gentleman of us all.
No. I'm super open book all the time. Couldn't give a fuck. Everything's
you are
out
very
there.
good.
Everything's out there all the time.
I'd say you're a gentleman. I would actually.
In my own way.
I would absolutely. And then there gets a point of the amount of Jaeger bombs that he drinks.
Yeah.
And then
wanker.
Who is this guy?
Something happens where you find him on the top of a roof.
But I would say to a point, you are a gentleman.
Okay, thank you, but that's not what I was fishing for. I had a point that I was getting at, right? What I'm saying is in hostels, when you're in the bar or whatever, and you hear this guy, they're always tall guys leaning over this girl and be like, "No, babe, like there's just something special about you." I'm like, "You met her 2 hours ago. Shut the fuck up!" Like, oh, sorry.
But that's what's going to happen, isn't it? When I was a young, much slimmer single man, for me, I was always I wasn't very good with ladies at all. I know, shocker, boys, absolute shocker. How can that
be?
I've seen some fit pictures of JJ.
Not saying you're not fit now, you still are.
I am about as
just
fit.
fitter.
I'm about as fit as Paul Gascoigne right now. That's a fun football show for everyone. I did not know how to speak that. I'd love girls. Girls are amazing, but I didn't know how to speak to them. And I used to carry a lighter around with me, even though I didn't smoke. So my friends would go to the smoking area.
Did you actually?
I swear to God, yeah. Used to take a lighter.
Icebreaker. It's superb.
Yeah. If you got a lighter, I'd be like, yeah, man, there you go. And I'd get talking to them and I'd go, do you want to go for a drink? And I'd go upstairs and start talking to them and grab them. I imagine, because it was always in the garage in Glasgow. And I know I could walk this place while blindfold. And I'd just go up by them and start talking to them, wait at the bar, talking to them. What's your name? Yeah, where do you come from? Are you a Sagittarius? Not really. That's all a lie.
Do you want to join my cult?
And I'd buy them a drink and I'd hand them the drink and I'd go, thank you. And I'd walk away because I didn't, there was nothing in my head that went, there's a stage after this, JJ. Like, just keep talking to them. Go for a dance. That could be an option. Nah. So for like a solid, like, when I was a single man at like 21 for like a year, didn't get anywhere because I could not figure out there's a stage after that.
It's fucking hard, man.
To them, I would have looked like a complete gentleman. Wow, that man just went up and lit my cigarette and bought me a drink and fucked off. That's such a lovely thing to do. He wasn't looking for anything.
Sucker.
I used to have a strict no buying a girl a drink rule for years.
Yeah,
I was also the DJ in the club, so I didn't have to buy the drinks.
But yeah, that's a different story.
No, I learned the hard way on that because there are some people who would take advantage of that. Even this week just gone, there was a girl chatting up a guy in the bar, other way around. The guy was chatting up the girl, and then they came up to the bar, and she was like, "So you gonna buy me a drink then?" I was like, "Oh."
I think
and he was like,
"I bought the drink and he was like, hand."
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, go on. I didn't feel so much sympathy for him.
No, mate, you should intervene to be like, just one drink. She can get her own.
Well, nah, he was a bit of a knobhead anyway. But but I was still like, so you go buy me a drink then? I was like, wow, straight in there.
I've been at a bar where a girl, I've been buying myself a drink at a bar, and a girl come up, and I remember this clear as day, and I won't mention the girl's name because I'm faking here. She came up and she was wearing very little clothes. We'll put it that way, like very to almost none clothes. And she was like up against me being like, "Oh, you going to buy me a drink then?" And I went, "Yeah, no bother." I got her a water and went, "Fuck off."
And that's how to be a gentleman.
To be fair, I've done the exact same thing, but flipped it and been like, "So you're gonna get me a drink?" And like, fuck. Sometimes I get drinks. Like,
but you know what? Then I said, "We can do it nicely."
I have seen guys do it as well. Yeah.
But let's flip reverse here. So there's been a gentleman, but there's also been a lady, which we can't talk to because we're all men, as far as I know. And I think that there's a lot of girls who now aren't ladylike.
Yeah. I mean, we could get mad hate for this, but yeah, there is. I'd agree. There's, and I've came across girls who are very respectful, very polite. I've seen it, working it behind bars as well. And I've seen girls who, what do they call them? Ladettes? Is that what they call them?
Well, if you're English, you would. In Scotland, we just call them cunts.
Yeah, I've seen girls that don't act like what you would define as a lady as such, and we could probably do the whole topic on them, like have as the lady.
But for the sake of being cancelled, let's not.
but just to touch on that though, the same way that your picture of a gentleman is from the fucking 20s.
Exactly.
The picture that you're painting of a lady is also from the 20s. So
it's 100 years ago now. Think about that.
Yeah,
years.
like
that's crazy.
We're in the 21st century. We're fucking year 2021. What we're in our head projecting as a gentleman or a lady is fucking irrelevant. Like, so other than in the movie The Gentleman, it is so irrelevant.
Do you think there's a difference between going back to them in the 1920s and what they thought a gentleman was in the 1820s?
Yeah, well, I was thinking
potentially. They'd be like,
we
let our women vote. How ridiculous! Like, that's what I mean. It's just fucked. That's why I didn't want to do this topic, and I'm going to say it now.
Yeah, because it's a very hard topic to do.
Because I think, and this, don't cut this out or nothing, but I think that the idea of gentleman and lady, it's fucking pointless now. I think the idea of being a polite, respectable individual, 100%. But the idea of these, I mean, I don't want to get a hole on the fucking LGBTQ thing, like these binary kind of identifiers of, are you vaping?
Yes.
Is that new?
I took it out because I wanted to learn how to do smoke rings.
Can you do smoke rings?
No, I can.
So hard is it? It's so difficult.
I can do it, but I can do 2 at a time. So
if you're listening and you believe JJ took up vaping for smoke rings, call in now and let us know your thoughts.
The vape literally just ran out. Just blinking off. I know.
By the way, if you don't watch us on YouTube, you should watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, are they like disposable ones?
Yeah.
I see them.
You're not meant to get
all
them.
the
They're
time.
very illegal. But if you ask special in the shops, they appear.
I see them like littered over the bar floor.
Whoa, you sound like a robot, Isaac. You might have to disconnect and reconnect, man. You've also frozen.
Oh, we've lost Isaac.
I can see clear as day.
Oh, wait, he's back. He's back. Ladies and gentlemen, Isaac's back.
Hey.
You guys never disappeared for me. I could hear you the whole way through. That was weird.
It was the activists coming to get him after his comments.
Yes.
No, but I
was on the activist sides. What do you mean?
Going back to what you said, I think you kind of summed it up pretty well. It's like, JJ, you said that it was almost 100 years ago now that
and times change,
that traditional thing. And now we live in a world where we do have, it's not man goes for woman, woman goes for man. We have men with men, women with women. We have all the other spectrums of that as well.
Which, by the way, I think is fantastic. That's the way things used to be. The Greeks, like Isaac Gurlot, they had it right, man. Like, just do what you want, have fun. Isaac's disappeared again, but he looks like he's looking into my soul. He's back now. He's back.
That was intimidating.
every
time you say that, you guys still are fluid as hell.
Oh, gender fluid. Thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, I think that my mum and dad's generation, they hate shit like that, but it does not bother me in the slightest. If you want to be a man with a man, you be a man with a man. It's not affecting my life in any way, shape, or form. If you're a woman and you want to be with a man, a woman, and I can't think of a third one, but I'm sure there's a term for something else out there as well, then you do that. But that's the world we live in now. Things are very, very different.
So which brings us back to the age of gentlemen has gone, but the age of being the age of just being a good fucking person.
Well, no, it's just called being a good cunt, right? Gentleman has to have left, and we just now have to have the term good cunt.
good cum.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it
Yeah.
have to be cunt or?
Yeah, it has to be good content.
Well, this is a film called, it's filmed in Australia, so it has to have content in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those listening in England who are horrified that I was saying the C word.
It's not a swear word here.
It's not a swear word.
It's an apostrophe. It's an apostrophe.
actually
It's a comma.
Compliment, depending on the tone you use.
But let's go. There's something I really want to talk about, and that is all the times. Because I've worked in nightclubs since I was 16 years old. I'm going to be 30 in a month. 30.
I've got a great
14
song for
years.
you, by the way.
You know that's his
By
hint.
Venom.
You know that's his hint to remind us that his birthday's coming up and we best.
My birthday's coming up, guys, and I'm not going to be able to see anyone. So that'll be fun. I was wanting to be in Vegas for my 30th. That's not happening. Anyway, what I do want to talk about is, by the way, September 15th, everyone that's listening, if you want to send me Desperados, more than happy. What I was wanting to talk about was all the horrible ways we've seen men behave in a nightclub,
Yeah.
which I've seen a lot.
I've seen some ladies behave pretty atrocious.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I've seen a woman shit on a dance floor. Seen that.
What?
100% I've seen that. More than once. More than one time.
What do you mean more than once?
And it's the same person.
I've had a staff member. I've had a staff member, and Dave, you may have been here for this. You may remember this. I had a staff member drunkenly menstruate on a man whilst dancing on him, just like in Superbad.
But did she know?
Why? No, this is bringing back. Why?
Don't say the name. That's not fair.
I think I remember.
They are German, and you didn't like them that much.
Oh my God, yes!
Hitler.
I did not.
That wasn't it. She had no idea. It wasn't even her fault. She was just fucking drunk. Do you know how many dumb shit I've done when I was drunk? I fucking high-fived her the next day. I was like, fuck yeah, you can't help that shit.
I did
Who
definitely
cares?
not. I did not like her one bit.
Do you know what I looked at today? It's completely off topic. Menstrual cups. Fuck, they're scary. Who knew, what are they for? They're in Woolworths. They cost $45.
Yeah, they're a
Blood
thing.
cup. Yeah.
I had an
I know
in-depth
some people with them.
I had an in-depth conversation about femdoms the other day.
Like that. You're not meaning what you're saying. I know what you mean.
Femdoms.
Femidom is what you mean.
Femidom.
Femdom. That's a whole category in Pornhub, mate. That's
Yeah,
a
I was very
different thing.
confused.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Gentleman Dave. Femidoms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Femidoms.
But no,
yeah.
all right, guys in nightclubs, guys in bars. Let's target it.
Before we do
awful.
that, I want to. Not a lot of people that are Australian will know who this person is, but I've just found out that Sean Locke, the comedian, has died. From 8 out of 10 cats and things like that.
All deaths are sad deaths. That's the way I feel.
Glasses. The one with the glasses.
Yeah, man.
No way.
Can we have a little drink to Sean Locke? I've been watching him a lot the last few days. Sean Locke, you were a funny man.
He was very funny.
You unlocked the comedy in my heart.
Well, that was terrible. So people in nightclubs. Okay, so as a DJ, I'm always in a very good position. I'm above a dance floor. I get to see down at people being weirdos. And I'm not joking. Like, I've maybe had over 50, 60 times where I've had to be like, can I get security? This guy is being a real creep, man. Like, no one. And it's just like a lone wolf walking around trying to touch girls all the time.
Oh, that's
not a gentleman. Not a gentleman.
It's
and that's good that you've used not a position of power, but a position of fucking oversight to mass benefit. Like, that's fucking awesome.
Oh man, all the DJs I know have to do that all the time.
Yeah, and it's the same. Like Dave would be the same. Like managing a bar and like. As soon as you get someone, someone comes up to you and goes, "Oh, this person's being a bit weird." All right, cool. And then someone else is like, "Yeah."
What's the campaign though? They've done it. I don't know.
Angel? You're talking about the Angela?
Yeah,
No.
Stop talking about Angela.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm pretty sure it is Angela. Though.
It's ask for Angela. You go to the bar. You ask, "Is Angela working?" And then.
That's where,
which would be confusing in your bar. Yes,
and then there's like subcategories. So there's like, I just need to speak to her. I need to give something to her, and I need to something else. And one means like, can you get me an Uber? Can you get this guy away from me? I just want to leave, or something like that. And
I had it in the bar the other week where there was like a girl who came up to me. It's always from a bar manager point of view. It's quite a difficult situation to deal with. But I had a situation. I had two situations actually where girls came up and were like, "This guy's being a creep. He won't leave us alone." And I walked over to the guy. I was like, "Hey, mate." Which, when I thought about it, is even more worrying. But I was like, "Hey, mate, I'm just gonna have to ask you to leave because you're making some of our patrons feel uncomfortable and stuff like that." And he was like, "Oh, really? Yeah, no worries, I'll leave." And he like shook my hand and left. And I was like, "Wow, he left far easily than
Well, that's a good thing, though.
But,
that is a gentleman. I would place that as a gentleman.
I think that's
It
someone
is,
who's
man.
unintentionally making people uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
You do have some, especially where we work, you have some weirdos that just don't understand social cues, and that's not their fault. A lot of like,
For instance, people that that might
make cheesecakes. Yes,
cheesecakes.
I know where you go. Yeah, I know where you go.
that might that someone might see a girl that they like who might have a fiance whose name is definitely JJ. And they might wake up one morning and he's went through all of our Instagram and like every single picture of it. Like that, for example. That would be a prime example, I think. I don't think he means bad. I just think he's very socially unaware.
This is the thing as well. Another thing, it's like, and some people will be like, "Good on you, Dave. You got rid of that guy." And then some people might be like, "Dave, maybe you should have investigated that a bit more," And that kind of what plays through my head. It's like, because I have met people who socially don't get cues. And I really need to word this carefully, but it's just like, for some
I know what you
people,
mean.
Some people, they may think that they're just being a nice person to someone. And then to the other person, it's creeping them out. And then to the other person, they might not get that. They might have a expectation of how people should act, and anyone who's outside of that expectation, they'll go, "Oh, he's a weirdo," or "She's a weirdo," or whatever. But they might not be a weirdo. They just might not have figured things out like you have. Do you know what? Am I making sense?
I know exactly what you're getting at, and it's a hard thing because there's no rules to socializing, right? There's absolutely no rules. You can look like fucking a sexy version of Channing Tatum, and then girls.
What do you mean a sexy version? He's already sexy.
Whatever.
What do you mean?
Right? Like you, and some girl will be like, "Oh my God, I want him to do this to me," right? And then another guy might fucking, I don't know, pat someone on the back, and it's like social bubble or whatever, which is like.
The way
respectful.
I'm gonna Isaac. I'm gonna say thing, and the listeners won't get this, but I'm gonna say there was a person.
Happy you're saying it then.
Yeah, there was a person.
Bring
there
someone
was
up.
a person, and you'll explain it better than I do because I'm an idiot. But anyway, there was a person that we both know who was a lovely, lovely person, but they were just very terrible in social situations. And it was someone we worked with, and they helped us out a lot in the bar back in St Kilda. And I hope you're getting this, but maybe you're
What
not.
do they do specifically? Photos?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
That type of situation.
yeah, like this person, very socially unaware, and
I'd say so.
and potentially, I don't even know how to get where you're going, but like, I know exactly what you mean. No ill intentions whatsoever, but he just was a bit weird to everyone.
Yeah,
Not everyone enjoyed that, listeners. Hope you all enjoyed that great bit of content.
But what I'm trying to say is, this person we're on about is he oh shit. They was a very lovely person, but they just didn't always kind of get it, which is unfair to sell them down the street of they're being a creep, they're not a gentleman, they're not this, they're that, get them out of the bar. Because if you actually got to know that person, that's not what they're like. They just don't
Get it.
I think also another thing that we need to look at is how one person perceives another person as, are they a gentleman or not? I could mention a person that I'd say, they're actually really nice, whereas you know a different side to them, and you wouldn't think so. I think that's the thing. All in all, just be a good cunt.
Yes,
and also be a good cunt, but be also understanding on the back of that as well. But try and
be empathetic.
Yes,
not
I think
pathetic.
Empathetic.
Yeah.
You need the extra M.
Yes,
but
one letter or two doesn't matter.
But with a bit of social awareness and empathy, you can try and put yourself in other people's shoes, and then what you think may be perfectly normal. And then you can realize how it's not perfectly normal for that person. Like, I'm a very loud, outgoing person, but I understand that sometimes in certain circumstances.
What? You?
In certain circumstances.
Such an introvert.
Get off that roof, Isaac. Stop doing that.
But I understand that in certain circumstances, projecting myself onto others is not wanted, and it doesn't help anyone. So then I flip it and go more insular, and I'm like, cool, I don't need to be a loud person in this room of 5 people, because being loud right now is going to make that one person over there that doesn't really know anyone, make them feel pretty shitty. I'd rather talk to that one person in the corner that doesn't really know anyone on a low level, quiet, bring them in, bring them up with me, and then we're all being loud together. Yeah. But you could just walk in there and be like, fucking, I'm an alpha male and I like fucking chicks. And like that, no, don't do that.
That's what you do every time. The chick man, that's what they call you. KFC.
Fucking yeah.
Down it. I was like, no, it's water.
but do you know what? And this is a huge stereotype, but I'm going to fucking put myself out there. England fans.
Oh, they're the worst. They're the opposite of gentlemen.
Least gentlemanly people I've ever met in my life.
Oh,
There's nothing about this.
Even when we're saying gentleman doesn't exist anymore, they're still the opposite of it. Like, they're still the opposite of what doesn't exist anymore. They suck that bad.
Do you know what? Being English, don't say you, but being English, yeah, you put that finger away. I agree with you. And like, I've seen English people piss in each other's mouths on stag do's. I used to work at a hostel in Europe, and they would piss in their own mouths and then piss in each other's mouths on the street outside of a pub after one pub and a bar crawl. I was like, what is wrong with you people? You fucking suck. This is very passionate. This is what kind of, when I was thinking about topics for the show and that, this is, to be honest, mate, this is kind of where it came from, because we've recently just had the Euros.
Yeah, yeah, we did.
Who won the Euros again? Was it?
Anyway, moving on, because we're focusing on. Yeah, they did not.
I'm just going to keep a tally. Sorry, a tally of.
That was good. I like that. That was good. That was very good.
But that's where it brought me on to, was like, you were saying when the English was in the bar and they destroyed the bar, and then any other nationalities, you didn't have much trouble. And
I mean, for example, Isaac, the Scottish, were they nice and pleasant people?
They were very lovely indeed.
Thank you.
But that's kind of what gave me this thought chain. It was like, and when we started this episode, I was talking about like in the 1800s, 1700s, whatever, 1920s or whatever. We were talking about that old fashioned the gentleman, and the English were largely known for that, back in the old days. And now they're not, because they call girls slags and stuff like that, and it's not great. And we asked a bit yobbish, and that's kind of the thought process I had when we approached this topic. Is like, have we lost the way of the gentleman? I remember like going on holiday to Ibiza, and I hung around with some Italians, and this was like, I don't know, I was 26 or something. I'm 32 now, 26 or something. Last time I went to Ibiza, 27. And this Italian girl turned around to me.
Italian, that's good. That's new.
And she was like, oh, I don't normally hang out with English people, because normally you start fights and you're just rude and you're not okay. But she was like, you're pretty cool. I was like, yeah, we're not all like that. Which is, yeah, that was just me going off on a bit of a tangent, really. But
did you find £10 at the end?
Nah.
Damn it.
Guys, I know that we're getting to the end of this, right? So I'm currently ordering food for when we all sit and watch What If episode 2 together.
Very good.
We are watching that. Yeah.
I'm very excited.
How do we do that, by the way?
Don't know.
We'll
Work it out later.
We'll figure it out. We're waiting until after this. I think I know how to do it. But I think we should finish our thesis here on. Let's all have a statement each on. I can't do that because I've only got one hand at work. For those listening, they're doing a funny hand thing, and I can't do it.
Looks like you're telling secrets to two people at once. Like, stop. But Mary said this, and Sam, and what about Erica?
Okay, gentlemen,
Are you okay there?
okay, Isaac, give me what you think, how you think things have changed, and what it means to be a gentleman these days.
I think I'm going to use some big. All right, I think the patriarchy was a lot stronger 100 years ago. It's still very ever present, and hopefully we have actual equality in whenever it actually happens. But we'll talk about that another time. But because of that, what we defined as a gentleman. I think I went too deep for a sentence.
Too many beers. Too many Mountain Goat, mate.
I think gentleman in the past was about winning the prize of a woman, right? As a prize, as an object. And that's not the case as much anymore. And I think now what should be gentlemanlike, if we're going to use the term, is about being genuine, honest, and I think positive, because I think radiating positivity is an important thing day to day anyways. But I think that's what being a gentleman should be today.
I like that.
I just from your speech, I think, well done. Thank you. From your speech, and you just did something where when you're in a conversation, you try and like sound clever and sophisticated. Then you start using big words, and then you realize the person you're talking to is really clever, and you're like, shit, I'm in this now. I'm in the end game.
No, that was going to lead to a 5-minute conversation, wasn't it? I was like, we don't have time for that. Minimum 5 minutes.
Yeah, for me, very much what Isaac said. It's just like, yes, I still do have this romanticized idea of the Great Gatsby and James Bond and all this. And I'll hold doors open for ladies, and I try and do my best to speak politely and not swear in front of ladies and stuff like that. And I do try and hold on to the traditional values of being a gentleman, because I think it just is a good representation of yourself. Dave, like we were talking about Dwayne earlier. Dwayne is a very gentleman. You look at Dwayne, you try and describe Dwayne, and most of it is positivity. So that's how I want people to perceive me. I think to summarize though is, times have changed now. We don't live in a very clear-cut world. And just be a good cunt, respect people's boundaries, and don't be too forward, respect personal spaces and stuff like that. And just try and go about your business in the most respectful and polite way, which even if it doesn't have the outcome that you want, people will still look back at you and go, oh, he wasn't a creep or anything like that. He was just a genuinely nice bloke. He wasn't the bloke for me, but they walk out the interaction with you with positive thoughts. Yeah.
For me, I think what we have to remember is being a gentleman isn't just about how you treat women, it's how you treat everyone. It's about how you treat your friends as well. I think that's something that we didn't really touch on that much. It's just how you are as people, as a person to everyone. But don't take that as you have to be lovely to everyone. Some people aren't good cunts. Some people are bad cunts. And if they are bad cunts, you can be a bad cunt back. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But treat everyone when you initially meet them as a good cunt. And that's how you should live your life. be a good cunt to everyone, and everyone be a good cunt to you. But if you find the bad cunts, you let them know.
I feel like
the bad cunts.
just that we should. I'm going to clip, and I'm actually going to do it into like a captioned. Be a good cunt to everyone because and when you first meet them or whatever the fuck you said. Caption on Instagram. Good cunts.
Good cunts, and that's it. It's just been a good cunt. Times have changed, definitely. We shouldn't. There isn't really that much a divide now of how men and women treat each other, and I like that. I think that's excellent. I don't want to have to treat people differently just because I'm a man or a woman. I like that I can talk to my fiance the same way as I talk to you guys. I like that a lot.
Yeah, look at these boobs
all the time.
Yeah, that's great.
She shows me some. She's like, how good are these? It's great. But also, I like that women can talk to me like I'm just a mate as normal as well. Yeah. It's not like, oh, nice to meet you, sir. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely places in the world where that's still the case. We just don't live in that world. We're not high class people. We're working class, pushing on if we're very lucky to middle class. That'll never happen for me. But I just want to be a good cunt and find good cunts to be a good cunt with. That's all I want.
Here.
So we came to the end, ladies and gents. The three Schooners are about to go and watch Marvel's What If, which is a fantastic series so far.
By the way, this episode has been sponsored by Disney Plus. If you don't have your Disney Plus subscription, get it now. It features Star, which is soon to get all of FX's catalog. So it's an absolute bargain. It's the quickest climbing streaming service ever. And it's on trajectory to beat Netflix. That's how good it is. So get Disney Plus today.
You're forgetting our other sponsor. The episode was also sponsored by Pornhub. Type in the code.
Sorry, the biggest streaming service.
I reckon it would be. That would technically be the biggest streaming
number two behind YouTube. Yeah. But definitely bigger than Netflix.
Yeah. So this week I cancelled Spotify. I am about to cancel Netflix because nothing's on it, and I've subscribed to Apple One.
Netflix has gone downhill, hasn't it?
Right. First of all, Spotify. What do you use for music?
Apple Music. It's an Apple One. So Apple Music, Apple TV.
To hang up.
I get 2 gig cloud storage, free VPN. What else do I get? News Plus, which gives me subscriptions to Wall Street Journal, National Geographic, blah, 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 for free that I can read every day when every new edition comes out. Plus Apple Fitness Plus workouts, which I've been trying for the last week, doing my core workouts. And I'll tell you for something, guys, I don't have a core. That's what we've learned. Nothing in there. Not a lot going on. Costs $40 a month. So I saved that money with my Netflix and my Spotify. That's $40 a month.
$40?
Yeah. But you get all your Apple Music, Apple TV,
fair, right?
And all that news subscription, which is unbelievable, by the way.
To be fair, I'm paying.
I've got Reddit.
I'm paying like $11 for Spotify, $11 for Disney Plus, $11 for something else. I think the prices have just gone.
I'm paying $2.99 for Google One or whatever the fuck it's called. That's it.
That's all you mate. I've got so many. I think I pay like close to $500 a month as subscriptions.
No.
Yeah, easy.
That's ridiculous.
Easy. All my music stuff. I have to like music, like the things that I send you, Dave. Like
the DJ.
Yeah.
So
but then that's your passion. So
yeah.
Plus business expense. Sure. Oh no, because it's a hobby. Never mind.
Technically a hobby because I don't.
All right, boys and girls. Before we get pulled up into the bus for the ATO.
We've said too much to listen. Shut it down.
Would you like to? Shall we do our thing?
Before we do our thing, I reckon next week, keep an eye on our Instagram. If you don't already follow our Instagram, it's what is it these days? The Three Schooners.
Oh fuck! I keep getting banned for shit because I keep
posting
Pornhub links.
Whatever it is, follow it because we're going to post.
It's the number 3 Schooners on Instagram.
Perfect. So we're going to post the story.
3 Schooners.
that's just going to have a question, be like, what topics would you like us to talk about? And then it's going to have an open-ended box, and you can put all the topics you want. We're going to put them in a hat, and then we're going to pick one out of a hat. That's not how we're going to do it.
But can we do it live so we can't prepare?
Yes.
Do that.
Let's do that. And then it's going to be something dumb, and then we're going to be stuck with it.
So you're saying we'll tee up the next podcast, and then we have all the topics, pick it out, and then we just go for it.
Yeah. I think that's
we don't have to do it there and then. We can
Oh.
do it and then be like, cool, this Tuesday we're... Anyways, my name's Isaac. Thanks for listening or watching or doing it on any service that you so see fit, except for Apple Music. My name's Isaac.
Wait a minute. Apple Music's got spatial audio and lossless quality now. I'm just.
And my name is David.
David's title. And how good was that?
Cunts. You're moving into bad cunt territory now. That's what you guys are.
You're moving to Apple fanboy territory.
I'm fine with that. This Apple fanboy is going to fucking edit a podcast on an Apple MacBook, so go fuck yourself. Anyway, my name is JJ, and thank you very much for listening. As we have previously said, just find the good cunts. Be a good cunt, find the good cunts, and be good cunts with each other. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.